Hey, it's your girl Andrea B, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, okay? And welcome back to Trusting the Process Diaries episode 2. Y'all, since the last episode, there has been a lot going on. I told myself that I wasn't going to put myself in the middle of certain situations because it's not up for me to handle. It's God, right? And also today's episode is just about being still, right? Like that famous scripture, right? Be still and know that I am God, and at the right time God, will make it happen. And that's what I'm sitting with this week. I'm sitting with being still. And y'all, it is hard for me to be still. I don't know about y'all, but it's hard for me to be still. Okay. It's hard for me to sit in a place and be like, okay, God, I'm not going to move. I'm not going to do nothing. I'm not going to try to figure it out. I am going to sit still and let God be God and let you do you, pretty much. And then trusting the process, like sometimes that can be really, really hard. Like it can be really, really hard to sit still because you have it all figured out in your mind, like how the situation is going to play out, what you're going to do to help God in the situation. Like you kind of already have like a way forward. And God is just like, no, like just be still. Because let me tell y'all something. I am down to my last. Okay. I'm down to my last. And I'm being honest, I'm down to my last. And you know, when you are down to your last dollar or your last anything, you try to figure out how to get more. You try to figure out how can I make what I have stretch, right? But realizing that stuff still needs to be paid for, right? Like I still got bills that need to be paid and etc. So I am choosing to be still because I know that if I try to figure it out, I am going to wear myself down and wear myself thin with trying to figure it out, right? But it's like, okay, God, like, am I supposed to like sit still and like not make any type of money? Am I supposed to just sit still and just, wait for the money to come? But I know that this is an act of faith, right? Anything that we put God in is an act of faith. And I am just really trying hard to not beat myself up or be down on myself because I'm like, I feel like I'm towards the end. Like I feel like I'm towards the end and it's like, okay, well, how is this going to happen? How is it going to shift? Like what things are going to happen? But I feel like that is the beautiful thing about trusting God, because like we're never gonna know where it comes from, right? Like we just hope and pray that God puts us on someone else's heart, or like something falls out of the sky and okay, God, thank you, right? And I just kind of feel like that's where I am. Like I am just in a space of just wanting to trust God with everything that I have, with every fiber of my being. And it's hard. It's hard. It's hard when you are so used to things happening and going a certain way. And now it's like your schedule or whatever you're used to is disrupted. And you just kind of have to go with the flow and just know that God is going to take care of everything. And he told me, he just was like, be still. Like you have to move out of my way so I can do what I'm supposed to do. So I can do what I need to do in your life. And yeah, like it's not easy. It's not easy, but I will say that it gets better. I know that it's going to get better. And I know that, and I got the reminder this morning, like, my labor is not in vain. And it is scary when you prayed for this and now that you're here and you're ready to throw in the towel, and God is just like, you haven't given me time. You haven't given me time. And that's the thing. We want to rush the blessing so bad. We want to rush what God is trying to do. But knowing that once he does it, this is something that could change the trajectory of your life, right? And I feel like whatever God is brewing for me is going to change the trajectory of my life. And I don't want to rush it, right? Like I want it to come in the package that God has destined for it to come in. I don't want to stress myself out because I'm trying to figure out what's next, or I'm trying to figure out like how God is moving and he's maneuvering in this season for me, right? My only job is to pray, to read my Bible, believe, and to trust, and just continue to seek him, and I don't know who else this is for, right? But that is your job. Your job is to trust God and lean not to your own understanding. Your job is to get in his word. Your job is to, get in that war room and pray it out. Like your job is to just be consistent with him and do the mundane and dedicate everything that you do to him, right? That's it. And I think sometimes we take praying and reading and all these other things for granted, but that's how you grow your faith. Like that's how you continue to stay strong. And I know one thing for me is that I always ask for it every single day. I pray that God just continue to give me the strength, continue to give me the boldness, continue to give me the confidence to keep pressing towards the mark, right? And I'm in this season where it's like God has always been my provision, right? But now, like, God, where is the provision? Like, where is it coming from? Okay, because what are we doing with it, right? Because I still gotta live, I still gotta eat, I still gotta put gas in my truck. Like, what are we doing? But I feel like God is just like, okay, I hear you, but you got to surrender and keep it moving and let it go. And surrendering is hard, y'all. Surrendering is hard for me. And I talk about this all the time. Like, surrendering is so hard. But then I feel like I get to a point where I just stop worrying about it. And I'm just like, okay, like whatever comes, comes. If it do, it do. If it don't, it don't. But realizing and knowing that God knows what I need before I ask. God knows what I'm feeling and what I'm thinking before I even bring it to him. And I think that is just the beauty of serving a God that knows your ins and outs. And it's like, okay, daughter, like I hear you, but are you going to give it to me? Are you going to bring it to me? Are you going to do what you need to do so I can bear that weight and you can go on about your business, right? Because we hold things that don't belong to us, or we hold things that we are been supposed to give to God. And yet we still just sitting here like, hmm, and still trying to think of a master plan and write it out and do all those things. And God is just like, no, just hand it to me. Like, give it to me. And I know for me in this season, that's what I'm doing. Like, I'm giving it to him. And I am also asking God to, remove people and remove things from me that are not of you and that are going to like hold me back, and I don't want to be held back. Like I want to be around people who believe in God just as much as I do, right? Like I want to be around people who are going to continue to help me press towards the mark, even in this season, right? Of just being still. Because yes, I want to go out there. I want to go figure out a way to make some money because the bills are due. You know what I'm saying? I want to go do that. But then again, it's just like God is like, yeah, but that shouldn't be your focus. You know, I know that the bills are due. I know that you need the money. I know that you need groceries in the house. I know that. But do you know that? But do you know that? And that's what I'm like, I'm dealing with this week. I'm not gonna hold y'all. Like being still is just really, really hard. It's hard. But I know it's worth it. And I know what comes with being obedient, and even like yesterday, quick tidbit. So I was like, oh, I said, well, I can start like doing a little side hustle. I can go deliver groceries like through Instacart and all that type of stuff. I can do that. It seems easy. It seems possible. Like it shouldn't, take too much of, my time or whatever. Y'all, I literally picked up like 2 orders yesterday and I made what, like $20 in 2 hours? No. And I put a lot of gas, a lot of pedal to the metal for that. Cause you only get a certain amount of time to, you know, shop for the groceries and do this and do that. So and that was God telling me right there, you did all of that for $20. You did all of that for $20. All of that for $20. When I can give you more. I can provide you with more, and you're not even gonna have to run yourself ragged or crazy trying to do all of that. And God just has a way of just letting you like do little things, like do stuff, and then He's like, "You see, you see." I mean, because I just really feel like right now my focus should be on, school, should be on, making content and doing all those other things. But there's just always this thing in the back of my mind. Like, where is it going to come from? Like, I need to buy groceries. I got to do this. I got to do that. But this season is just really testing my faith. It's really testing my faith. It's really making me, it's stretching me. But it's allowing me to know that God hears me, and God just always has a way of just, and I don't know for y'all, but God just always has a way of just like sending me like little things, you know what I'm saying? Like sending me like little confirmations or little affirmations to let me know, like, come on, like your prayer hasn't been in vain. Your labor hasn't been in vain. Keep laboring, keep praying, keep going, and just watch how things turn out just by you being obedient, and yeah, like being still, that is the name of the game, being still. And it's hard, like I said, when you are so used to things being a certain way, right? Like when you're used to just, swiping your card and just having money at your disposal. But I am going to speak and I am going to claim that that is going to be my life, my reality, where I have the resources at my disposal. I'm going to have resources at my disposal. But I'm not going to have to worry about, you know, oh, either I'm going to spend it on this or I'm going to spend it on that, you know? But yeah, that's what I'm sitting with this week. Just being still. Just being still. And just praying that that this video touched, that this video just gave you something to think about as well. Just being still in the season of the unknown, being still in a season where you would normally hit the ground running and God is just like, no. And it's like, I'm not lazy. I'm a hard worker. But I do also feel like, in this season that He's calling me to rest. Like he's calling me to rest and really just give the situation to Him. So if you feel like you are in a season of the unknown and you really just don't know what to do, just be still. Continue to work on what God has given you to work on. Continue to labor in your prayer and in your reading, and continue to labor in the things that He has given you, because we all try to go find something else new, right? When what we're working or what we're feeling isn't working, we try to go find something else to do. But I think it's just one of those things where it's like, no, focus on what God has told you to do, and everything else will come. Everything else will be added unto you. Everything else that you need is going to make its way to you. Provision is on the way. And yeah, that's my tidbit for this week. Just be still in the season of the unknown. So I'm talking to myself too. So just be still. Just be still and just watch God work, and just continue to petition those things unto God, because He knows, right? He knows. And just change the way that you're thinking about your season as well. And I'm talking to myself too. change the way that you're thinking about your season. Like, it is a blessing to be able to go through a season where, all you can do is depend on God. It's a blessing. It's a blessing. So with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of Trusting the Process, being still in the season of the unknown, and being still in the unknown season. I like that. Being still in an unknown season. Yeah. And I just hope that you just continue to watch. And then we're going to start picking up vlogging as well. So I'm going to be active on here and on TikTok. So I'm doing my best, y'all. I'm trying to figure out what works for me, what is best for me. But I feel like God has been calling me to come off of Facebook and Instagram and really just focus on building community. And I know that I can do that on TikTok and YouTube, right? So until next week, I will see you. And then make sure you're following me on all platforms at It's Andrea B, preferably TikTok if you guys don't mind. And like I said, if you're new here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you are looking for a channel that is, about faith, about motherhood, about lifestyle, about the things that we go through every day, this is the channel for you. Okay? But until next time, bye guys.